Hey guys, welcome to Bipolar Boxing. Let's break down Khalil Cole versus Jesse Hart. It's on the Raymond Muratalla versus Andy Cruz undercard. I think it's the co-main event. I know Khalil Cole's one of Eddie Hearn's guys that he's been pushing, and I've been watching Khalil Cole pretty much his whole career. Betting on him when he's minus 2,500 in his early fights and stuff like that. Then we got screwed when he fought that Gallegos guy the first time, and but then he came back in the rematch and he looked phenomenal in the rematch. He looked a lot better, and I was so happy because I got great value on him because he just lost to the guy like 5 months ago, and I knew he was going to come back and just I knew he was just going to dominate that guy in the rematch. Um, and we got very good odds on that, so I made all my money back off of that first loss. But Jesse Hart, I've never really been that impressed with Jesse Hart. He's has had some very good outings against good fighters, but anytime he steps up, he loses. And this is kind of his last run of things. He's 36 years old. He's a Philadelphia fighter, so you know he's tough as shit. But uh, Khalil Cole, I'm really just picking Khalil Cole in this fight because he's younger. He's 29 years old, and this is the perfect fight for him at this stage of his career. Jesse Hart's going to be the biggest name on his resume. Jesse Hart's towards the end of his career. This is just what fighters do when they're coming up. And Eddie Hearn is a great matchmaker. I know a lot of people don't like him. He's my favorite promoter in the game, and he believes a lot in this Khalil Cole guy. And no matter what I saw in Khalil Cole's first like 8 fights or whatever, he never really looked that spectacular. The guy had a draw with somebody who was like 6-4 earlier in his career. Never really looked that impressive, but there's enough people out there who have a greater boxer mind than me that say, Khalil Cole does have a lot of talent. And this is coming out from, guys that work out with him in the gym and everything. I know sometimes that could be a little biased. It's like, yeah, you work out with the guy every day, you're friends with him, like, yeah, you're gonna say he's real good. But I don't know. I see Khalil Cole heading in one direction, and I see Jesse Hart just trying to take this fight. If he gets that win over Cole, he could get a big fight coming up. But in this fight, with what I saw in Khalil Cole, if he didn't look as spectacular as he did in that last fight against Giagos, and that Giagos guy was a tough motherfucker, and he beat the shit out of him. And if he didn't look that good in this fight, I wouldn't be as confident in picking him here. But I feel pretty confident that Khalil Cole's probably going to knock Jesse Hart out. The one thing that shocked me was I thought Khalil Cole was like a little bit of a bigger guy. Like he's not. He's only like BoxRec got him at 5'10". They got Jesse Hart at 6'3". I didn't know there was going to be that big of a size difference there. But that doesn't always, bode well for the taller guy because he's a bigger target. And the one thing that's bigger on him is his body. So if Khalil Cole wants to work to get inside, I would work with like jabs and hooks to the body to get inside. Bring his arms down so he's not really throwing that jab from a high guard or anything like that. But I think Khalil Cole's going to have no problems getting inside. 36 years old. Jesse Hart probably doesn't have the legs start to go when you get that age. I don't think he's going to have the legs. I think Khalil Cole will pick his spots early, but confident that Jesse Hart doesn't have the power to stop him. And I think he's going to get a late knockout around like round 7 to 9 or something like that. If you're looking to bet rounds or something, like just to let you know, like I don't bet paths to victory. I always just bet who I think's going to win. The last path to victory I bet was Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. I bet Floyd Mayweather to knock him out in the late rounds, and yeah, that cashed. But I don't usually do that because these guys are not planning on stopping guys in certain rounds or anything. What they are doing is planning on winning the fight. So I don't like to bet on things that fighters aren't planning to do. Or at least if we don't know, because there's some fighters that go in there and you're like, man, this guy should just knock this guy out. But then him and his coach are in the background talking like, hey, man, you probably could knock this guy out, but let's go 12 rounds. Let's dominate this guy. Let's get your stamina up. Know that you can go 12 rounds. And I think that happens a lot in boxing. It's not that these guys can't knock the other guy out when you think they should. It just doesn't happen sometimes. So, but one thing we know they are training for is to win the fight. So that's all I'm concerned about is winning the fight. And I think Khalil Cole's going to do this. And just because of where Jesse Hart is in his career, he had a great performance against Zerto Ramirez. Like his only losses are to twice to Zerto and once to Joe Smith when Joe Smith was kind of up towards the top there. So both of those fighters are better than Khalil Cole. I'll give him that. But he also doesn't have any name on his resume that's better than Khalil Cole that he beat. He doesn't have a lot of good wins on his resume. Now, neither does Khalil Cole, but like I just said, like the trajectory of these guys' careers, this is just a spot where you just bet Khalil Cole in this fight. And and Matchroom wouldn't make fights like this. Like this is a big fight for them because it's in the US. It's in Vegas, although it's in Vegas, but it's at the Font Lebeau in Vegas. Like they're not at the MGM, they're not at the T-Mobile, they're not at Allegiant Stadium or anything like that. Like, but it is Matchroom coming to the States. And when they come to the States, that's a big card for them. They're not going to put one of their fighters in there against a guy they're not pretty much sure he's going to beat. That's why I say this is a perfect matchup for him because Jesse Hart has a name, especially in the United States. So you're going to get all Jesse Hart's fans watching this fight, and maybe they become a fan of Khalil Cole after this fight. So yeah, just give me Khalil Cole. I'm gonna say I'll say eighth round knockout. I just think he wears Jesse Hart down to the body, takes away his legs, and then he'll probably land something upstairs. Could be like a standing TKO where Jesse Hart's just against the ropes, with a high guard trying to block punches, and he knows the ending's coming, but he won't go down because he is a tough guy. He's from Philly, so and he's gonna fight his ass off because I think this is his last shot. But I don't think he gets it done. I think Khalil Cole is he throws very very straight punches too. He doesn't waste a lot of shots. Khalil Cole, he's not like a brawler in there. He will pick his shots, which is why like the first 3 or 4 rounds might be interesting. Jesse Hart might get that jab going, and Khalil Cole could just be frustrated trying to get in from the outside. But like I said, the best way to get inside on a taller fighter is to work that body, throw jabs to the body, throw hooks to the body, lead with them, and then just like I said, I don't think Jesse Hart has the power, so just kind of wear him down, work in the body, realize he doesn't have power, and just go for the knockout. And that's what I think Khalil Cole is going to do in this fight. And that's about all I got on this one. You guys enjoy the fights this weekend.